Hey, bud, if you've ever been sitting there deep in an ADHD rabbit hole, watching TikToks, reading posts, and thinking, this is me, you're not crazy and you're not alone. More adults than ever are being diagnosed with ADHD. I'm Coach Kyle, and I help those with ADHD find clarity in the chaos. More adults than ever are realizing they have ADHD without a doctor telling them first. And guess what? Experts actually back this up. Self-diagnosis is often the first steps towards clarity and change. So if you've ever asked yourself, do I really have ADHD or am I just lazy? Spoiler alert, you're definitely not lazy. You might just have an ADHD brain that's been running on hard mode for years without the right manual. I know this because I went through it too. When I first realized my brain worked differently, I didn't have a doctor confirming it. I had decades of frustration, confusion, trial and error before I ever got any understanding. And you know what? That realization alone changed my life. Stick around because today I'm breaking down why self-diagnosing ADHD is real, valid, and backed by science, and why the healthcare misses so many of us. Plus, I'll share what ADHD experts like Dr. Ned Hallowell, Dr. Russell Barkley, and Dr. Gabor Maté say about this. You ready? Let's go. All right, here's the deal, bud. If you're an adult who just realized they might have ADHD, it's not because ADHD became some trend. It's because the medical world completely ignored adult ADHD for decades, especially if you weren't a hyper little boy climbing the walls. Here's the hard truth. Only 1 in 9 adults with ADHD ever even get diagnosed. Women, quiet kids, and high-achieving people were overlooked entirely in childhood. And I get it, because that was me too. I spent years wondering why I struggled with impulse control, focus, motivation, even though I was gifted in some areas. Turns out ADHD doesn't care about how smart you are. It cares about how your brain processes dopamine and executive function. You want a bit of a mind meld? Experts like Dr. Tuckman say that ADHD diagnosis often happens in a 2-for-1 deal when the parent of an ADHD child brings them in for an assessment and realizes that they also have ADHD. So if this is hitting home for you, it's probably because you were one of the ones that was missed. Well then, if so many people go undiagnosed with ADHD, how do people find out? Most don't get a doctor's help right away. They self-diagnose. Here's why self-diagnosis is legit. The World Health Organization has something called an adult self-report scale, which doctors literally use, that has a 75% accuracy rate. Studies also show 3 out of 4 who self-identify as ADHD end up diagnosed when tested by a clinician. Many experts, including Dr. Gabor Maté, remember that name, say that people are often their own best judge of whether they have ADHD. Why then, if ADHD is real and self-identification is accurate, do some doctors still dismiss it? Well, the system is outdated. Yes, despite decades of research, some think ADHD magically disappears when you turn 18. Also, some doctors were trained only on child ADHD and not adult symptoms. If you weren't bouncing off the walls, labeled as a troubled kid, or masked well enough, you probably went unnoticed. They may have overlooked you entirely. All right, bud, let's wrap this up. If you relate to everything I just said, I give you permission to trust yourself. You don't require a doctor to tell you your brain is different. Take an online quiz, do your own research, talk to those closest to you, and then get an assessment if you still need it. Confirmation for me was enough, and let me tell you, bud, that knowledge alone, it's a lifesaver. What I'd love for you to do now, bud, is tell me your story. When did you realize you have ADHD? Make sure to subscribe because I'll keep bringing more information and more content just like this. Thanks, bud. We'll talk to you later.